All right, what's up, everybody? So, I am beyond excited to dive into season 3 of Attack on Titan today. It's honestly, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I can imagine that as a viewer experience for you all. It's like only getting 2 episodes a week, which I see a lot of people sometimes complaining about because it's not enough, right? And I get that. But for me, it seems like time is flying too fast, honestly. I enjoy this journey way too much. Like, yes, it takes obviously a lot of time also to produce these videos, but for me, the journey is a little bit more than just watching these episodes. The journey is also reflecting on them in the days in between, reading all your comments on Patreon that I'm getting and stuff, right? And thinking a little bit more about all the events that unfolded. I can imagine that binging a show like this, you know, you'll be done very quickly. You can binge a show like this literally within a couple of days, really, if you want to. The episodes are only 20 minutes. Yeah, it's going to take you, what? Like, how many episodes are there? Like 75? And now with the final season, I think it's probably going to be about 90 or something, right? So that's like 30 hours of really the show itself. Well, I could binge a show like that myself also within a couple days, really, if I wanted to. But for me, this whole thing has been then about more than just the show itself, if that makes sense. Like, it's been a whole journey for me as far as doing reaction videos, and like I said, the community aspect to it, but then also just really trying to think through about what I actually saw in these episodes. And this show is one large puzzle to me, and that's what I so love about it, that like two seasons being done now, I still do not really understand who the enemy is. We were like, in season 1, right, you get revealed that Annie is the female Titan, and it's like, okay, she's the female Titan, she's one of the bad guys. Well, we're gonna learn very quickly who the bad guys are now, right? And then in season 2, it's like, oh, you learn that Reiner was the freaking armored Titan, and Berthold was the colossal Titan, right? Oh, these are the bad guys. And then now, where are we actually? Like, oh, they don't really seem to be doing what they're doing really while being happy at it or something, or while enjoying what they're doing. They seem to be kind of forced to be doing all this stuff. Who is controlling them, or who is telling them to do all this stuff, and why? It's like, I still have no idea, you know? Who is this Beast Titan? Like, what is his whole deal? It's crazy, but I think that's what is so exciting, and what kind of people on Patreon have been teasing to me is that season 3, I saw somebody recently post that too. He was saying, Robin, you're going to love season 3. It'll be the season of your dreams. And I'm like, God damn, man. Could you describe it in a way where it's going to get me more excited? Because I would think that that means that, like, okay, this is where we might start getting some answers finally, right? And I've maybe been asking for that for a long time now, but yeah, all in all, I recorded a massive review actually for season 2 right before I recorded this right now. That's up on Patreon if you want to check it out. I've actually been watching 2 more of the OVAs that people told me to check out. The Lost Girls OVAs, which were actually about Annie and also very fascinating, especially some bits and pieces where they delved a bit more into her, into that scene that we saw with her and then Berthold and Reiner, kind of seemingly being sort of responsible there for Marco's death. And us learning about that, and it's like, what the hell actually happened there, right? And you know, they delved a little bit more into her with her dad and stuff too, and it's like, man, I really want to start learning more, yeah, especially about that question, who's the enemy, right? But overall, we came off of a crazy season 2, of course, with recently the battle that played out where Reiner and Amir and Berthold did manage to actually escape. Of course, yeah, that's kind of the interesting part, but like Erwin, of course, now knows this information that some of these humans actually turn into Titans. What can they do with that information is kind of the question, because I've been knowing it all along now since season 2, episode 3 or 4, that I kind of was like, okay, that's definitely a thing. Erwin and you know, the important characters only kind of learn about that now. Is there something they can do with that information that will quickly get us more answers? That's kind of the question in my head at the moment. Hannes obviously died. That was really sad. The Beast Titan got teased there once again with somebody on his shoulders, and I have no idea what that was about. But yeah, I'm just really, really excited to dive into it and to see where this 3rd season is going to go. That's the thing. It kind of feels like a clean slate again, where, yes, there are some parts that I know are going to be naturally followed up on. But other than that, I have no clue. Same as I did not really have a clue what season 2 was going to be all about until I actually got into it. So I'm just very excited, like I said, to dive in. And I wanted to quickly point out, of course, that over on Patreon, like I said, you can actually check my reaction to those OVAs. Keep in mind, of course, that it's the patrons that actually, with their support, are able to keep me going and actually be able to make these videos, of course, in the first place. So your support is very much appreciated. There is a ton of content for you to check out there. So like I said, there's 5 OVAs in total you can check out now. No Regrets, both parts, Ilse's Notebook, and then the Lost Girls 2 parts that I checked out. I even reacted to like the Attack on Titan in 9 minutes that people asked me about. You can already watch the next 5 episodes. So we are well on the way with season 3 over there right now. We should be on like episode 6. So there is a ton of content for you to check out if you want to. Your support, like I said, is really appreciated. So if you enjoy these reactions, then go check it out. It'll be linked on top of the description. But with that being said, I really shouldn't be talking all too much more. I am just super excited to dive in. So we are starting with season 3, episode 1, which I see is called Smoke Signal. Here we go. This haircut like longer a little bit? Interesting. Alright, was that the little tease? What's beyond the sea? This is a very interesting intro song. It's interesting how it's so focused on Eren, Mikasa, and Armin so far. And all the different timelines we've seen them in. This song is also kind of surprisingly sort of hopeful. What's the truth, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but this intro is really kind of throwing me off in how different it is. And what a different vibe it's giving off. I imagine this is kind of back in the first season timeline, no? Or when is this taking place? Oh no. I don't know, I guess I just thought about that because I saw Eren looking the way he did. Looking like how... actually, didn't Levi look like that? Back in the first season when they were at that kind of castle or whatever it was. So I'm guessing that has to do with his new power that we discovered, right? What the hell? That is not looking too healthy. I feel like the art style does look a little bit different in this season. Armin actually looks noticeably kind of older or something. Okay, he overheard that conversation. I wonder where this is all gonna go.
レース教の隠し子、確かに不幸ではあったらしい。だがただの地方貴族がなぜ壁の秘密を知ることができるのかが謎だ。
Okay, so we're definitely gonna get more into that storyline.
まだ寝てなきゃダメでしょ。
平気だよ。丸一日寝てたからな。そろそろ見張り交代だな。ミカサ。
いいね。エレンもみんなも辛いだろうけどやりたいことがはっきりしていて。
なんかやっとまともに話したな。ここへ来た時、自分のことは話したけど、それ以外ニコリともしないし、話にも乗ってこないしさ。
もうみんなに優しくていい子のクリスタはいないの。い
や、なんかその方がいいんじゃね。前は無理して顔作ってる感じで不自然で正直気持ち悪かったよ。ユミルのことはまた考えればいい。俺だってあいつにはいろいろ。
I guess she was overly nice back then. Although some people would call her a goddess for that reason.
なんだって。
死んだんだよ。ニック司祭が
Oh.
殺されたんだ。
Okay, so who knocked on his door?
今朝、トロスト区の兵舎で。
I guess that guy knew too much.
おい、現場を荒らす気か調査へ。
Could the military police itself be involved?
殺人事件だからな。
そんなわけないだろう。爪が剥がされて。
Yeah, that was no mere robbery.
所属はどこだ？第4分隊長ハンジズエと副隊長モブリット・バーナーです。組織がちっぽけだと大層な階級も虚しく響くもんだな。お前らのような出がらしと違って使える兵士は今忙しい。
ああ、そういうことですか。
How funny how they are calling them useless.
偉いとこの兵士さんにビビっちゃいました。握手させてください。彼とは個人的な友人でして。でも私が知る限り彼は椅子職人だったはずです。
貴様。
でも私はニックのすべてを知ってるわけではなかったということなのでしょう。
おい。
What is she doing?
すいません、つい。そして強盗を捕らえた際はこうお伝えください。悪党どもは必ず私の友人が受けた以上の苦痛をその身で生きながら体験することになるでしょう。ああ、かわいそうに。
What the fuck is this outburst?
失礼します。
You never know what to expect with Hanji.
ああ、中央憲兵団ジェルソネス。奴の拳がめくれていた。ニックは中央憲兵に拷問を受け殺されたんだ。
Yeah. So they tried to get information out of him. But so what? She mentioned how I guess the military police did not like him.
憲兵はニック司祭を拷問して。
Yeah, exactly. Dealing with the survey corps. Giving them information.
しかも中央憲兵を動かせるとなると、裏にいるのは相当の何かだ。喋るやつは1枚で喋るが、喋らねえやつは何枚剥がしたって同じだ。自分の信じるものを最後まで曲げることはなかったらしい。
Huh. So he gave them nothing, I guess. Levi figured, or...
つまり、俺たちがレイス家を嗅ぎつけたことは明確になっていない。
エレビン団長から伝令です。ニック司祭のことを伝えに行ったのですが、団長がすぐにそれを。
全員撤収だ。ここは捨てる。すべての痕跡を消せ。
Oh, wow.
中央から命令が出たらしい。調査兵団の壁外調査を全面凍結。エレンとヒストリアを引き渡せってな。
それと私が手紙を受け取った直後、団長のところにも憲兵団が。
そこまでして守りたい壁の秘密って。
That's so sudden that all of a sudden there is this
手に入れたい理由は何だろう。
transparent
とにかく敵はこの二人を狙ってることがはっきり。
battle or whatever to call it now between the military police and the survey corps for everybody to see.
トロスト区へエレンたちを移動させ。
Why?
こっちも敵の顔くらいは確認する。
Yes, please find that out for me, Levi.
もちろん。
I would appreciate it very much.
よし、私はエルヴィンの方に着く。
ハニさん、これユミルとベルトルトが話していたことで思い出したことがあって、話す時間がなかったんだよ、ここに。
わかった。奴ら随分と素早いですね。
それ鍛え方が違うからな、あのチビは。
知り合いなんですか？
古いな。
Dude, I have no idea what's going on so far, honestly. This is not the opening I'd expected for this season.
なんで王家の旗がこんなにあるんだ？
あ、今日って王政設立記念日じゃん。年に1回の特別配給がある日です。
I mean, we have not even seen who the king is, right? I wasn't even sure if they had a king here or something, but King Fritz. Yeah, long live him. I already don't trust him.
あるところにはあるってことだ。
Damn, there might be something to the whole theory that I've always had about like how they are kind of trying to just keep this system intact or something.
国民の機嫌を取りすぎたのではないですかな、レイス卿。
それよりも力とその器だ。急がなければならない。
Okay, so that's him, I guess. He actually kind of reminds me of that blonde guy we saw sitting on top of the Beast Titan. Obviously, he did not have blonde hair, but...
大丈夫か？あいつ絶対俺に似てねえのに。うますらなのに。
どうだ？
What the fuck is this guy? Oh my god. What a pervert.
中の様子はどうだった？
急がないとアルミンの変装がバレてしまいます。
とりあえず奴らを抑えたらすぐに合流しろ。
了解。
それから念のために言っておくことがある。アルミンたちにも伝えろ。
Obviously, I love how every single time it's like, oh, something is about to happen, and then they don't show you. Dude, you know that I had not realized that that was actually Armin? Now I get it. They literally said... They mentioned Armin's name, and I'm like, huh? How's... And then I realized, what the fuck? This Krista is Armin.
とりあえずこいつらここに拘束して兵士長と合流する。
どういうこと？
兵士長の命令、それと伝言も。
おい、ちょっと通してくれ。
何か妙だ。中央憲兵が使う手じゃない。奴らは気ぐらいが高い。素人は使わない。どこまで
Okay, so we're dealing with some different...
もしあの馬車を尾行するなら。ニーファ。
Who else could it be
ケ
then?
ニーを知ってるか？
Kenny the
この
Ripper?
大量殺人鬼ですか？何年か前に流行った都市伝
It's
説。
like Jack the Ripper? It's like their own Jack the Ripper? Kenny the
それが
Ripper?
本当だ。ガキの頃、奴と暮らした時期がある。目標を集団でつけるときは、両斜め後方と見晴らしのいい高台。リバー
Oh shit. Yo, did he just literally shoot her head off, or what did I see?
いやあ、リヴァイ。大きくなったか？
What the hell is up with this guy? More like, what is up with this whole group of people?
おめえもあんまり変わってねえな。
What? Honestly, what
ケニー
a
と再会したリヴァイ。
confusing first episode so far.
エレンと
Alright, well, I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, alright? Because I assume that honesty is what you want. But this episode just completely threw me off. I did not expect to be getting what we got. Really, that's the best way to put it. It's like, and it began all the way in the beginning, of course, where it started actually with that little tease where we saw Eren there talking about the sea and wondering what would be beyond there. I guess that's kind of hinting at like something we're gonna get to later down the line. Honestly, I could see that like being kept for the end of the season or maybe even beyond that, honestly. Then it was that intro, which, I don't know, the whole vibe that the intro was giving me was so unfamiliar and oddly different from all the previous intros. The previous intros have been epic and bombastic and like, oh yeah, let's fight the Titans, right? And then this was kind of a very hopeful, I'm not really sure. I feel like the music was very hopeful, and then the scenes were very more like emotional and showing how these characters have been growing up, right? And especially in the beginning, they're focusing on Armin, Mikasa, and Eren, and just the different timelines we've seen them in as kids, and then now growing up more. But then, I mean, we start kind of getting into, of course, I guess more the present timeline, and we're dealing with a completely different situation. It's obviously not so much at the moment about Reiner and Annie and Bertolt because they are kind of somewhere else. We don't know where they are. They managed to escape. So it seems like the group was focused in the beginning there on trying to find a way to close the gap, right? Or the whatever in the Ziganshina, I don't know how to pronounce it, Ziganshina, whatever district, which is from the very first episode where Eren used to live, right? That's what they were focused on, and they were trying to use Eren's, I guess, ability, or, you know, I don't know what exactly that was about. I guess it was just about them trying to get him back into regular shape or something, so to say. That's another thing that people actually mentioned and that I completely overlooked in the season finale for season 2, is that Eren losing his ability there was just about him recovering. So I think that this was still about that. And that he was just trying to kind of get his powers back so that they could work on actually closing that gap or whatever you want to call it. Then this is where, okay, now suddenly they start throwing the military police back into play, right? And that whole storyline we haven't really gotten into anymore since the end of the first season. And it comes back in a way where I'm like, okay, so maybe they are still involved in some way, right? I had almost written them off for a while, that thinking that, okay, we now know that, you know, again, like it's Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt, and then they have sort of a group or whatever that we're dealing with, or that we just don't know about. Now they come back into play, and they apparently, again, they tortured and they killed that priest guy because he was giving the Survey Corps information, and they did not like that. Clearly, they are shady. There is stuff going on here, politics and things like that, where we are now being introduced to this king guy, finally, the king of the whole realm, or whatever you should call it. And them using tricks to, I guess, kind of keep the people happy, as we saw with them offering food to everybody and stuff. It's, you know, it's all typical stuff. And I mean, very intriguing though, nonetheless, of course. And I wonder what that's about. Again, all I can do at this point is kind of speculate, right? But I found it interesting how this king looked. Because it, like I said, reminded me of that blonde guy we saw sitting on top of the Beast Titan in the at the end of last episode. I have no idea if that's like in any way relevant for me to even mention or compare him to that person, because again, that person had blonde hair, this guy clearly did not, so I do not mean to say that they are the same in any way. There's probably a low likelihood, but still, I figured it's worth mentioning it nonetheless, because who knows, I might be right. But yeah, it's wow. And then now all of a sudden, at the end of this episode, here we get a completely different faction that we're being introduced to, and apparently the city's own Jack the Ripper, Kenny the Ripper, who has a faction himself, that Levi is familiar with. But again, where are they gonna go here with all of that? I don't know. Eren also, by the way, gave Hanji, of course, that quick little note about a conversation that he had overheard between Amir and Bertolt. I'm not really quite sure right now if I know what conversation he's talking about, because I might have already seen it then in the previous episode. It might be something that I already know about, but I can't quite place my finger at the moment on like, okay, this is specifically what he meant. But again, the first episode, so far, it's what I know from the show. It's like all these little bits and pieces here and there, right? Where you can't really manage to connect them yet, and I just have no idea where it's all gonna come back into play. I imagine that as we get a little bit more into the season, it'll all start to make sense more. But a very interesting start to this new season. It was not, like I said, once again, and I'm used to that, but it was just not what I expected. And I'm very curious to see where that's all gonna go. But I think for now I've said enough. Great episode, and I look forward. I myself am going to be diving right back into episode 2, so I hope already there we're going to start getting some answers. But really enjoyed it so far. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and you can support me on Patreon to already get, of course, access to the next 5 episodes right away. They will be up there for you to check out, early access, all the OVAs that I checked out, of course, will be there for you to watch yourself. Attack on Titan in 9 minutes. Full-length reactions if you want to watch the entire episodes along with me. So go check that out. It is linked on top of the description. And then for now, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.